Vidya ma'am, please start. Hello, Momina.
No.
Yeah, let's start. Is everything ready?
Okay. Yes, it's all. Okay, I hope we can start now. It's a new era, new circumstances, new rules. You got it. But instead of whining about this whole situation, why don't we just try to adapt and evolve? In fact, that's how we reached here. So, good morning, dear friends and faculties and our esteemed resource person. I'm really glad to welcome you all to this webinar on behalf of Psychological Association of LISA and Department of Psychology of LISA College, which is going to focus on unique effective use of virtual skills and hands-on We know that this was inevitable, but we should also practice novel skills and completeness of knowledge. Let's together make learning a fun and fruitful experience. I would like to officially welcome all the participants, faculties, resource person Dr. Saumya K. Sukumaran, Reverend Father Jose Melotu Kochil CST, founder and director of LISA, Reverend Father Bobby Pulolikal CST, manager of LISA, Reverend Father Niju Talachira CST, vice principal and administrator, and Dr. Benny Joseph, principal of LISA. So, we have an experienced resource person to discuss more about this topic. I would like to extend a special welcome to our resource person, Dr. Saumya K. Sukumaran, clinical psychologist of Department of Clinical Psychology, Government Mental Health Center, Kudravatam, Kozhikode. So, this session will last for an hour, and I request you all to raise your queries in the comment box in both Zoom and YouTube. So, ma'am, I'm handing this session over to you.
Hi, good morning, all of you. I have always been happily associated with LISA College for most of their academic endeavors. And this time also, I'm too happy to attend this takeover this session. Good morning and heartfelt wishes to Josacha and to Father Bobby, who is one of my very close friend, and to Father Jiju and Benny sir. Okay, I think I am audible, and first a few words about myself. My name is I'm Saumya K. Sukumaran. I completed my professional education from Ranchi Institute of Neuropsychiatry and Allied Sciences in clinical psychology. And I've been working with many private institutions, and it's only for the past 3 years I have been with Government Mental Hospital, Kudravatam. I am happy to be here, and I welcome you all for this session. It is surprising to see so many participants interested in this topic. So, shall we start here to the organizers? Can I start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
Okay, am I audible? I think I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So the topic itself is let's turn the pages effectively in virtual classes. This has always been a point of discussion since this concept have been introduced. This corona pandemic, COVID pandemic, has opened a very beautiful version of an academic system to the whole world. It is popped up just like that when we are literally not trained in this kind of learning experience, when there is little preparation, when there is no right technology. It just happened like as if like the life started with the Big Bang theory. It just happened like a bang, and now we are here with making the world all the more smaller with this online platform. Um, so before starting on with the pure academic stuff, I would like to orient yourself or to give a framework of this class. Usually, I have seen many classes, or like 7 to 8 classes regarding this online learning. It has been surrounding the areas of what is the advantages, disadvantages, how does it affect a learner, is it effective, is it up to the, is it similar, does it give similar results as a real-time classroom situation. So we have been having a lot of talks and studies going on in this area. So I would like to speak more on, I have a little bit of taste in neuropsychology. So I would like to make a neuropsychological explanation or a viewpoint on how can we turn the pages effectively, making yourself an effective student. Okay. So when we think about a neuropsychological perspective, I think many of you will be basically from the psychology or a science background, completing your PG. You must have completed your graduation or completed your +2. So you must be knowing about some of the brain functions. So I will talk about some subtle brain functions, but some of them which are very important in online learning. And then we'll connect it with how effectively we can put our neuropsychological knowledge into understanding or becoming a good in terms of an effective online learner or a student. So as the discussions go on till date, it's been claimed that this online platform is effective for adult learners and it's difficult for young ones. The younger ones basically requires a structured environment for their learning, and they get easily distracted with this media. Agreeing upon the fact that a student who has never been into a classroom getting introduced first time to the education system through an online platform, it's difficult for him or her to understand whether it's a learning experience or am I going through something which is part of my regular daily schedule at home. I have 2 kids. One is only 4 years old and my daughter is 9 years old. So I have been experiencing the difficulties of a student who is first time getting exposed to an online learning and to a student who has already experienced a classroom. So what is the most important part of being an online learner? If we look into the fact that neuropsychological researches that are undergoing this area, it's been a debatable issue regarding attention. What is a general attention span? Generally, it's around 5 plus or minus 2. So usually it's from 3 and 7. So attention, that is the attention span of individual's brain when you are in a real-time environment. Microsoft has been conducting a lot of researches in this area, and they have come down to 3 important areas of attention which is pertaining to online learners. That is sustained attention, selective attention, and alternating attention. Most of us know what these things are, but let me explain in few words. Sustained attention is the ability to sustain your focus for a definite period of time. Selective attention is how to avoid your distractions and select yourself to a specific material. And alternating attention is shifting to your distractions and then back to your main material. So the studies have been found that in online platform, the alternating attention is found to be really, really bad, and the sustained and selective attention is really good. The first question is, are we used to this? Are we used to this concept? If I say, this is not from a neuropsychological point of view, it's just an experiential thing. A small child using a mobile phone, he is away from the whole world. He is away from his normal physical environment. He is sustaining his attention to a game. He is selecting his attention, avoiding all his distractions. If somebody is calling him, he can never listen to the person who is calling him. And he can just give an answer to a call and then again come back to the game. So it's been found that on online platforms, even if studies say many things, experientially, online platforms are easier for people to sustain attention, to select their attention, and to alternate. Are we used to this? Are we used to this online platform? And discussions go on like we are not used to the situation. I would like to introduce here the concept of transfer of training we have studied in our general psychology and in experimental psychology. So we have been doing all these things for all the while with our TV and with our remote, where you are on to a digital screen with your focus on a movie, you can shift your channels and then also at the same time follow the story of a movie, which means that attention is never a problem with an online reader. Can we say that because usually parents come up with their children to the clinic saying that he has been or she has been spending a lot of time on video games and on the social media, and they find it very difficult to sit along with the notebooks or with their printed material, and they find it very difficult to sustain their attention. So you have to think about it. So listening this, have to think about this, whether the question is the matter of interest or it's only a matter of interest rather than attention. You like something, you pay more attention. You find something monotonous, you pay less attention. So you cannot just blame the online platform or being an online student. You cannot just blame that I just cannot focus my attention on the material, because all the studies and the common sense and the concepts of psychology and our background using or becoming an online person it's not new for us. Even if people say it's new, it's not new for us. But yes, we have been experimenting this with the concept of education has been treated in a serious way. And so simplifying or mixing up an online platform into a serious concept, it's a conceptual issue with people. So with neuropsych, so I would like to summarize in the topic of attention that attention is in fact good on an online platform rather than on being with textbooks. And how do we or why do we attend classes? Why do we attend these classes? When you being stuck. Okay. Why do we attend classes? How do we attend classes? So now the you have two different concepts in our system. That is, you have already been on. I think now I'm talking to adult students who are into serious education. So you have two things. You have already had your live, original, conventional, formal classrooms, and now you have been onto a recorded videos as your classroom, or an online live videos as your classroom. So this is just how do a student attend the online classroom? You either just switch on your system, you are comfortable, you're in your comfortable clothes, you sit in a comfortable place, either you sit, some of them sit with the snacks, or they watch non-interfering videos side by side. These are the lists that are told to us by parents as a complaint that children are not being serious, even adult students are not being serious during an online classroom. These are the complaints. So how do you conduct your learner inside during a session? The thing is, this online platform has broke all our schema of education. It has broken all our schema of education. So how was the education system before? We have had a teacher in the classroom to drive our attention. We've had specific rules. We've had timetables. We have had a proper schedule throughout the day. And comforts was never our priority in a classroom situation. But now we are being in our comfort zone, attending the class with a non-live person to guide us. So this is the ambience that is going on. So in neuropsychology, I think uh, we can think about this on the basis of orientation, how you are oriented towards a place, person, time, and a situation. So how do a learner orient yourself? So this online platform has completely shifted the concept of education, which was actually a choiceless activity. The child who, or a student who enters a college, is under the specific routine of a college. And there is no specific choice. If you are a student there, you have to follow certain rules and the discipline fostered by the college. But now you are completely shifted from the choiceless activity to a completely choiceful activity where you can be in your comfort zone and then go on with your studies. Is this right or wrong? This shift in orientation, is this right or wrong? So my answer is it depends on your learning style. It depends specifically on your learning style and your ease with stimuli. So what is your learning style? So if students with the background of psychology must be knowing that you have different learning styles, like being a free learner, being on massed practice, spaced practice, students who are on rote learning, children who learn meaningfully, cognitive based learning, observational learning, different types of learning styles. So whether this orientation is easy for people who are focusing only on the data rather than the source of the data. So here also I would like to say about a case example regarding orientation. Children, like students who are being on a virtual screen, you see many people around, and one of the teachers who is unmuted, and they speak continuously regarding a topic. And the student sits at home in a table and in a chair, and then the focus is on the screen. So orienting oneself to being in a classroom is indeed difficult for each one of us. So this is the topic to be discussed before starting our academic program, how you should orient yourself from a different, sitting in a different background, focusing on a screen, and then orienting yourself that you are a student of the class, even if you're physically not present. So that itself is a very vast area, and I'll just move on to the next topic. And what do we call all these things that is going on the screen? These are just stimulus. So you get a lot of stimulus from the screen. Through your senses, you take up all the stimulus. You hear, you see, you understand, you visualize, and then you give a meaning to your sensations, which is called perception. So our third area of discussion would be, we have finished with attention, we have finished with orientation. Now our third area of discussion would be perception. How do we perceive? What do we perceive? So what do you perceive from a class? Does it depend on the exam date? Like when the exam date is nearer, we tend to complete the lessons faster. Otherwise, you tend to lag on with the lessons. So it depends. Does it depend on the exam date? Jokes apart, it basically depends on the topic. Well, so can we say that as far as in till date in our online education systems, exams are always a topic of discussion. Somehow, some institution try to conduct exams in the way of online, but like online exams where the child is, the student is put on a camera, on a video, and the child writes exams. They take the photo of the answer sheets and post it to the teacher. So that is how it's going on, where there is every chance of the person to manipulate whatever exams they write, or people may send it as such. So in this, I would like to explain a small study, which was only a 2-question study given to online learners. So the first question was, how many of you have fully watched all the videos without forwarding that has been sent from your institution? That is the first question. The second question is, how many of you have repeatedly seen your class videos? This was the 2-question interview conducted with the digital online students. So it was, the answers were very predictive. It was a big no, which means nobody missed the classes. But there are exceptional cases. Where children completely watch all the videos, and there are children who completely repeat seeing their videos. So here I would like to explain a case that came to us with, I'll explain the case. The thing was, he is a +2 completed student who is undergoing online entrance coaching classes. So as he started with this entrance coaching centers, they started sending unmountable amount of information where the students were overloaded with lots of videos. So in a day, they get live classes for 3 hours, and then offline videos which are sent to them, which amounts to almost 4 to 5 hours. Then they have to write answers to the question papers which are sent to them based on the videos. This was their schedule. And end of every 3rd day, they would get an online test, multiple choice question test regarding the videos and the data that is sent to them. So this child, this guy, he's almost 17 and a half to 18 years old, undergoing this curriculum. He came up with the problems of, he completely feels aversive towards the screen. He cannot look at the screen at all. And off late, like almost for 2 to 3 weeks, he is never up to date with the classes that are going on. So where is the issue now? When we talk about where is the issue, he can understand, he can sense through his sense organs, takes up all the things, he gives meaning to it, his perception is good. So where is the problem? Individuals with certain kind of personalities find it difficult. Basically, individuals with obsessions. It need not be obsessive compulsive disorder, simply obsession or obsessive kind of personalities also. Simple traits are also a roadblock to this kind of online education. The issue with him was, if a video is for almost 40 minutes or half an hour, he has to sit in front of the video attentively for almost half an hour. Because of his nature, he feels that he must have lost some points. He again goes back to the video. So he repeatedly does the whole video, and by the time he completes one video, it takes almost 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So throughout the day, due to his perfectionism, that is the main features of being obsessive, due to his excessive perfectionism, due to his anxiety that he must not have thoroughly done a topic, due to his the ritualistic or ritualistic behaviors, due to his intrusive thoughts that he has not properly completed this thing. He repeats the whole thing and finally ends up with being on the chapter 2 when the coaching center is taking chapter 7. So perceiving as stimuli and then giving meaning to what you perceive, getting all the things into your head. So how do we synchronize this? How do we synchronize ourselves? So issues in perceiving online classes can be solved only by synchronizing. With people who doesn't have an obsessive kind of tendencies, this is the solution. The first thing is, every student has a syllabus or a guideline for their class. Most of the students doesn't follow a syllabus. At least you can tick off those you have heard or attended, so you are in sync with the class. To solve the problems of perception or organizing yourself, the first thing is sync yourself with the class. And people with issues with obsessions, the case I have explained now, it should be dealt in a way that people with obsessions always have their own perfect plans. Any perfect plans, when we try to execute them, it ends up disastrously. So rather than following perfect plans, you can be following rough, workable plans. So what did we do with that guy? So we started off with syncing himself with his syllabus. He kept the syllabus. He was just, because an educational institution sends in lots of videos, even nothing is unimportant in education, but even a very small topic that has to be covered in 2 marks is given as a video, which takes lots of time. So first we chose a guidance document. That can be a syllabus, that can be index page of your textbook, or that can be your question paper. Keeping that as a synchronization tool, we started off with watching 1 video per topic. Because for a single video, for example, if you're studying biology, plant cell. The internet is so overloaded that they send in videos in Malayalam, videos in English, they send in live videos, videos with experiments, and for completing one single topic, you take more than 2 hours. So when you have these different kind of videos, how do you choose? So that is what I told, the learning style. Some people imbibe more information when they see an experiment. Some people, they just need a pure academic class. So first, synchronize yourself with the syllabus with a guideline tool. The second is understand, sync your things, choose videos that are according to your learning style. You find it easier to understand Malayalam, you watch Malayalam videos. Mother tongue or in English, you watch English videos. So you sync yourself with your learning style. That is the second thing that I did. And the third one is breaking his perfect plans. He was planning to complete what all videos that has been sent to him within the same day and study the same topic the same day and to complete a question paper the same day, which is actually impossible. So that we schedule as the third task. And the fourth task is entertainment or rest is a must. So then we took on to his lighter side. He was interested in maintaining ornamental fish as his pets. So we started with that and now he's doing really, really well. So this is the issue with perception. So we have discussed attention, then we have discussed orientation, we have discussed perception. The next thing is the most important thing in learning is you need memory. You need to memorize certain things in your head to understand or remember concepts. This online platform is actually multi-model, right? You see, you hear, you experience, you understand the concept from different dimensions, and there are simulated videos, there are real videos. Actually, when you have so much of information, so much of things that are going around, I think it should enhance our memory, right? When you're understanding a concept from different points of view, I think it should enhance our memory. So, does that happen? And what is the fact? Just imagine you're being in a classroom, teacher comes to the class, plans to take a class, and a session is for 45 minutes in real classrooms. Does the teacher continuously take a class for 45 minutes? It's no, they don't take continuously for 45 minutes. They talk, they discuss, they chat with the students, then they move on to the class, they explain, they inquire. So, but how is it in the online platform? You see a video for 45 minutes, it is literally overloaded with information. From the start till the end, it is overloaded with information. That is the reason why a person finds it difficult to sustain the information. It is not because of an attention issue. It is not because of a memory issue. So will listening only suffice? Will listening to videos, will listening to an online classes will only suffice? Here also, I would like to explain to a case where a child behaves as he's not a child, he's actually 19 years old, a medical student. She's a medical student. The thing is, she watches videos several times in a day, and still she feels she has not completed it. And she came to us with the whole ruckus that my educational life is being a disaster now because I'm not able to organize the whole thing. So how do we solve this issue? So here we have to inquire how a person actually behaves. So seeing 3 or 4 cases, they all follow the same pattern. A student gets a video. First chance, it's a curtain raiser. You just go through like what is happening and regarding what is the topic, whether you're liking the way of presentation, whether you're interested in the topic, whether it's too theoretical and all. It's just a curtain raiser for the student. Second time she tried to watch the thing, it was like a test of patience because she wanted to somehow complete it. She was waiting for the video to get completed. The third time, she watched the same video to answer a question paper which was sent from the institution. Fourth time, she thought, okay, let me watch this video fully to understand the concept, because after only that she can tick the whole thing. So here also we can see a mild element of obsessions, perfectionism. And when she reached half time, she felt, I have seen this video several times. So let me go to a video which I have not seen even once. This is what is happening with a real-time online learner. So how to solve this thing? How to solve? The clear solution is you need, like in virtual reality therapies, you must have heard in clinical psychology or psychology which you have learned, virtual reality therapies, where really you feel that you are inside a classroom, you wear your equipments and you sit with the light, sound and your visual system, you feel that you are in the classroom. So that is the perfect solution, but it's pretty costly. You cannot afford the whole thing, and it's not practical at present. But at least we can create that virtual classroom at home. That is the solution. You can sit, you can, for example, you get up in the morning, you change your clothes, have food, have a specific place to sit with your system, with your books nearby, sit in a way you're sitting in the classroom, get oriented to the space that you are into, and then write down points, like behave as though you're in the class. You listen to something, you write down points so that you don't have to go back to the videos very often. And you need to process the information, then only memory happens. Just seeing some videos or just listening to online class, nobody is processing the information, you're just listening to it. So memory happens only when you process the information. So how do you process? At least after the class, you read the textbook. We have always been oriented to the formal education of following a printed textbook or a note of your own where you read it. So consider your printed material as your basic data, go on to the online materials as your supportive data, and then communicate with your basic printed material so that you can balance the information overload. You can get synchronized with the subject. You are in sync with the syllabus. You don't feel that you need to go back to the videos always. And so you process your memory, you're processing it in your brain, and so the memory happens. So you feel that you have specifically completed some of the topics. So going back to the case that I've said now, what did we do with the girl? The girl was finding it that she's not meaningfully doing something. The first thing is realistic appraisal of how you're being a learner. Think about the previous points that I said, creating an attitude that it is not affecting your attention, orienting yourself as a student. You perceive the information and then process the information, sync yourself with the syllabus, and then her issue was solved. Okay. So the next thing after memory, I would like to go on to the visual field, the concept of visual field. What does a visual field do? In a real-time classroom, there are no boundaries. You sit in a big hall or a big classroom. You can just look around. You don't have boundaries. You have all corridors. You can see the clear sky. So in a real classroom, there are no actual boundaries. But in an online or a video-based classrooms, you have a screen where there is a clear specific boundary which becomes monotonous very often. And as we said before, choiceless, it becomes choiceless. And that too, we are doing all this at home. So in your visual field, what do you have? You have a specific limited boundary. You're sitting at home and attending your classes. Neuropsychologically, when we are with less distraction, real classroom is you have a lot of distractions. But in a screen, you have less distractions, you have specific boundaries, it is structured. So how it should be? It should be effective, right? It should be good for your perception. It should be very effective. But does this happen? In a real-time classroom, does this happen? I think we are all very good at breaking all the neuropsychological findings of the brain functioning. What matters? Basically, it is the attitude that matters. The attitude of being a learner. It is the attitude of being a learner that matters. Now, it's like we have, when the government announced institutions to start their online classes, it was like a world of fancy. Excuse me. It was like a world of fancy. We had all the fantasies. I think now we have overcome all the fanciful, the outlook of online learning. It's more of become monotonous, and now it has become a habit. What should be your attitude? Good? You need a good attitude? No. Your attitude should be bad, or you need a motivated attitude, or you need to be a responsible attitude. My finding would be you need to have a ritualistic attitude, like religiously you're doing something religiously, believing in a concept. What do religion teach us? You believe in a concept, you do some rituals regularly. So a ritualistic attitude will make this monotonous visual field effective for this person. So here I would like to explain about a case where the person found at home, they do not have a separate room that can be spared for online learning. So the student, he used to attend class in the hall itself because they don't have a laptop, the desktop is in the hall. So where family members, they speak in the hall, the TV is running side by side, there are a lot of distraction, but yes, he was having an earplug and then he was watching the online classes, trying to attend more into it. So he was complaining to his parents that this situation is very difficult for him to continue the class, and he was demanding for a specific tab or a screen, a phone with a bigger screen or a laptop where he can personally go to a space and then attend the class. So the child was demanding. The chief complaint was he was demanding for a better visual field in my language, a better visual field to continue his education. Fortunately, he was a very good student, scoring very good marks. The parent was very apprehensive. He couldn't afford all these systems so quickly. And the child was going on demanding. Can we treat this as a demanding behavior? Can we treat this as a temper tantrum? Can we consider this as the child showing behavioral problems? Look into the matter in detail. We should go through the attention span of the child. We should go through how the child is oriented to the online education. We should go through how the child perceives the thing, how the child gets synced with the information, whether the child is able to effectively memorize what is learned. When I went to all these things, the surprising finding was that his attitude was like, he feels that he is in a real classroom, keeping all these phones and all those things. But the people moving nearby and around the hall was distracting him a lot. And it was creating a lot of disharmony within the child. And he was deadly needing this thing. So the solution was the child can face backwards to the hall so that he cannot see anybody. We gave that option and he was okay with it. I don't say that this is a clear-cut answer for his question, but he left his demand of needing a new system, visual field for his thing. So visual field doesn't mean that every learner needs a specific personal screen for their attending their classrooms. It can be a field, visual field doesn't mean that you need a technical system. It is more of a field, visual field feeling, the ritualistic attitude the person should have in your mind with getting in sync with the visual system, keeping away the distractions and then trying to attend the class. Finally, the whole thing comes down to how do we judge? How do a student judge oneself? How do a student judge the teaching technology, the individuals? Usually the answers are, few classes are out of reach. I cannot follow everything. Some classes are okay. Some classes are very interesting. Some classes are boring. Some classes are too fast. Some classes are meant for only very bright students. Weak students are never targeted. These complaints are always there. With what criteria do we have this feeling? With what criteria do we judge the online system that we have in our forefront? The issue starts with the topics that we've discussed earlier. A person who cannot attend to something, he feels the system to be boring. When the orientation cannot sync with the syllabus, the topic with the syllabus that the person is having, when there is orientation problem, when the method of understanding learning is not according to his learning style, the person gets less interested. The person feels things are out of reach when the information gets overloaded. The person feels that the classes are going too fast because he doesn't properly process the information like what we told in memory. You need to listen to things, follow your basic text as a basic material, the online platform as only a supporting material. So when you don't follow all these 5 things properly, you start judging the system with lot of biases. So how do we judge? Can we teach somebody to judge something? In psychology, in clinical terms, you have basically 3 types of judgment: social, personal, and test judgment. What is social judgment? You follow the group. Your friends feel that this class is boring. You also follow the thing. The class is boring. What is test judgment? Follow the judgment of people whom you like. That is test judgment, personal judgment. So what is a test judgment? You understand things intelligently, you balance it with your emotional needs, and then you bring about a judgment. So balancing the intellect and emotion is your best judge. So just imagine if all the internet goes on a ruckus and you don't have any availability to your online class. What does happen every day? Initially, it is a relief. You have a lot of free time to do. Then later on, your day will pass by without any schedule. You forget literally that you are an enrolled student. And you end up with no learning at all in a day. Do we need, this was a case came up to us, to our OP, with the thing that he was from a remote area where the accessibility was less. He shifted to a place where the accessibility was really bad. He was very much relieved. Literally, his day passed by just like that. and he's just an enrolled student but has no orientation to what course he's undergoing. In that cases too, you have your textbooks, you have your guidelines, you have your syllabus, you have your basic material. You can rely upon it. So in this way, we synchronized, we followed the same steps, made him understand that synchronize with the syllabus, behave like a student, and morning you get up, take bath, have food, they have a table and chair, sit with your learning material, then balance your test judgment. So to summarize, if you can focus on these 6 points, you can make yourself an effective online learner. So turning the pages effectively, you need to practice understand the facts of attention, orient yourself, sync yourself with the material, give meaning to your perceptions, improve your memory by following your basic textbooks or basic notes, organize yourself with the visual field, understand that technology is this technology or this kind of online learning is a supportive factor for your textbooks, and rely upon a bit of your test judgment, balance yourself emotionally and intellectually, and then you end up as an effective learner. Hope I have tried to at least cover, help you to turn your pages effectively. Try to implement when you get each and every case, because now we have a lot of cases coming up in the OP with issues with online learning, and never think that only counseling will help them. We need to go through structurally through these topics and then help the child in an effective way. Have a great academic year. Okay, thank you. I think I'm done with my class. So if anybody has any doubts or to share something, we can go on with that.
Recently I had sent a message to you. I hope you have seen it.
Yeah, I'm going through.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think there are no much queries in these messages. Raise your queries, nothing here. It's all good morning and
Ma'am, can you hear me?
yes, sure.
Okay, so there is a query from a participant. It is regarding the matter of attention span. A participant has asked, isn't the average attention span of human between 10 to 20 seconds? She wants you to further clarify this.
Okay. See, the concept of attention span, what you've said is right, but attention is being understood from different angles. You have attention that is, for example, you have a test in psychology like ESDST, Ising series of digit span test, where you assess your attention span. You give some digits to the person and you tell the person to repeat it at the same time. So there, the number of digits which the person can just perceive, attend, remember, and then speak out. That is actually an immediate attention. So in attention is an umbrella term for selective attention, divided attention, sustained attention. What you are talking about is sustained attention. So how easily can a person be distracted? Now the attention research is in a stage where attention is explained as a term of how quickly you come back from your distractions. You're in a class, you see something, you get distracted, but you come back quickly. So attention is nowadays explained in terms of distraction. So what I think what you said is also right. It is based, that is sustained attention. This 5 to 10 to what I've told is an immediate attention span. I think I've cleared the doubt. If Anything more is to be explained, I'll do that too.
Yes, ma'am. I hope it's clear. So, participants, if you have any other queries, please raise it in the comment box. Ma'am, there is another query.
Okay, read out.
Okay, how persons actively listen? How do people actively listen? That's the query.
Okay. The first thing is, the first neuropsychological process is readiness. The readiness of a person, the mindset of a person to listen to something. So the first thing is readiness. And associated concept is a mental set. You are disturbed and you want to hear some happy information, it is not in sync with your mental set. So what you want to listen should be in sync with your mental set. That's the first thing. To be an active listener, first you should have a background information of what is going to happen. A sudden information that is banged onto you, a sudden stimuli that is banged onto you, you take some time to catch up with the track. So if you, like today, for example, I'm quoting the example of being in the classroom. In an online class, the previous day, you know that today you're going to learn theories of learning. You know how boring it will be. But you get a message that today you're going to learn something on a video show, a critical analysis of a movie. People will be interested. So interest also matters based on a prior, it's more than you, how familiar you are with the concept, how you are oriented towards a concept. And active listening, actually neuropsychological studies say that you can listen for a sustained kind of listening, sustained attention to a specific material is only for 8.5 minutes, not more than that. But that doesn't mean that we see a movie continuously for 2.5 hours in the theater. But the thing is, all the stimuli is exaggerated. So this exaggeration holds our listening skills. The sound system is too high. You have a big screen. You have it all in colors. You have, the story is thrilling. The thing is interesting. When the whole of these factors are exaggerated, you find your listening skills very effective. But learning is a kind of experience which is literally a bit of boring. Nothing is being exaggerated. So active listening becomes an effortful task. You become an active listener only when you know that tomorrow you have a test. This question is going to come, you become an active listener. Until and unless there is a purpose inside you, you cannot become an active listener. Okay, I think I am clear. Somebody have put in a query on how can we increase the attention while attending the virtual classes. Can we increase? The first question is that, can we increase the attention? The virtual class is for 45 minutes. Can a person practically attend only to that class for 45 minutes? No, it's actually impossible. But we can manage our attention. The first thing is managing attention is, as I've told, you should understand that attention comes and goes. As in the obsessions case, you cannot be attending continuously for 45 minutes. Literal attention, you cannot continuously do the literal attention for 45 minutes. That is impossible. So we'll explore to what are the possibilities. The first thing is understand that attention comes and goes. But my class is for 45 minutes. As I said before, have your syllabus as your synchronization tool. Have a background information of tomorrow, what class you're going to have, so that you have your mental set. at least write down some points when you listen to the class so that you have some shift in your attention. You listen, you write, you listen, you write. So the thing doesn't become boring. You are processing the information when you write, so your memory becomes better. When all these things are better, your attention also improves throughout the class. I think that will be a practical way to improve your attention. Do you have any tips for the teachers? I think that we'll have to do it as a class itself, because being on the other side of the screen and being on the screen is an entirely different thing. So I don't think there is no easy tips for the teachers. The first thing is the simplest thing that can be posted is understand how a learner goes through the whole thing. Then you will feel that, okay, my class needs to be seen by a student with all these difficulties, with all these neuropsychological efforts that the student is taking. Then maybe I think that will be the easiest general tip. And this is for a person who is on the student side, and being on the teacher side, I think if you feel that you need to have a class on something of this sort, I'm always ready. I think the queries are over. If there is any more of it, please ask it. It need not be related to what I've told now. If anything you want to know regarding clinical things or cases or whatever is happening, you can raise up the questions.
Participants, please share your queries in the comment box if any. And also make sure to fill up the feedback form to receive your e-certificates.
One of the question is, how can we manage an ADHD child to attend the virtual classrooms? See, in usual cases for children who are in their lower primary classes, who are from their KG classes and in lower primary classes, the classrooms are really very, very interesting. They try to incorporate pictures, videos, songs, and supportive materials which are sent to the teachers. I would like to quote my personal example. My child is a little bit, he is like attention deficit and hyperactive also. He has never been to a normal, usual formal school. This is the first time he's into the education system. So here I've seen that otherwise, if he was going to a normal formal education, he'll be writing ABCD on a book, 4-line copy with dotted lines, and then the teacher would correct it. He will get some reinforcement from the correction. He will practice the whole thing. But now it is open whole lot of things on the screen where the child is also interested, and an alphabet A is jumping, coming. It's very colorful. And then the teacher says A, the children will also say A. And it's a kind of multi-sensory kind of a thing that is going on in the online classes. But yes, if we go through the neuropsychology, the attention and perception, it's a bit difficult to make the child sit in front of what I told, the visual space, the visual boundary to make the child focus on a smaller screen. It is a bit difficult. But yes, we have a solution, like the textbooks are the basic data provider. Then only the online things are only for a support. So for ADHD, if it is pure ADHD, you need to start the child with therapy, and then with the therapy, you orient the child to an online education. But personally, I would say, if the schools are going to open next year, it is better that we don't orient our children too much into the virtual, this kind of online thing. Rather, they would follow some issues, something from the online system, but do the thing with the textbooks and notebooks more. That is my personal opinion. Sanya Davis, student go to other tabs between classes. I don't understand what the question is.
Rather, there was a comment from the Sania. It was from YouTube.
Can Sanya Davis clarify the question? The student go to other tabs. Is it like they shift? They open a new tab during the class which is not related to the class and then watch it side by side. Is that so?
Yes, ma'am, I do think so, because she has just given a message saying that, okay.
That is never a problem, because if a learner wants to do something and in between, if his selective attention is good, he can do that. If selective attention is good, side by side, if he feels that, okay, I know this concept, I am okay with it. But our cultural factors, disciplinary rules are against it. So that you have to make your personal choices. That nobody else can help you with that. There is a question like, what is the problem with accepting personal judgment? There is no problem with accepting personal judgment. Let me clarify. Personal judgment is following the judgment as those you like. Okay. There is no problem with accepting personal judgment as far as it is in sync with your goal. If you feel that you need to achieve your goal, complete the course, pass out with flying colors, if your personal judgment is a hindrance for that, I think you should surely change. Or if you're okay with it, you just want a degree, you just want to complete the course, and then you're doing, your results are in the same way, I think these are not hard and fast rules. It depends on what you want and what you're doing. I think the organizers would let me know the feedback of whatever I have spoken. I was too lazy to make this PowerPoints, because most of the webinars I tried to make PowerPoints, I was not able to present it on the screen because my computer runs slow and the audio and video gets interrupted. So that was the reason I stopped with this. So if you can send me direct feedback of how things were, I'd be happy about it. I think we'll wind up, Alle. Shall we wind up? If there are no queries, shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am. So I hope there are no more queries. It was a really informative session. So now I would like to invite Ruben Joy of first year BSc Psychology to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, Honorable Chief Guest and Resource Person, Dr. Soumya K. Sukumaran, respected Director and Founder of our college, Grandfather Jose Melotho Kochil, Manager, Reverend Father Bobby Pulolikil, Principal, Reverend Father Benny Joseph, Dr. Benny Joseph, and Principal, Reverend Father Niju Talchura, and distinguished faculty members and student participants. We have been very fortunate to have Dr. Soumya K. Sukumaran as our source person for today's program. Dr. Soumya's focus on the use and the importance of virtual learning, as it is a highly relevant topic nowadays and has become a part of our daily life. It was a great experience to have Dr. Soumya to have a talk by Dr. Soumya. The fact that Dr. Soumya included real-life clinical cases, different neurological and psychological methods, and many more techniques, etc., on how to use virtual learning in the most effective ways and to the fullest extent, and to use each and every resources that's available to us and to get the most out of it in our learning career. On this precious occasion, it's a matter of pride for me to propose vote of thanks to all participants in this webinar. At first, on the behalf of the management, faculty members, staff and students of this college, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Soumya for being with us today and enriching us with an excellent talk. Thank you very much, madam. Then I would like to express my thankfulness to our own director, Reverend Father Jose Meluthukoshil, who has been a vital force and motivation for all academic ventures of Lisa College. I want to extend my generous thanks to the manager of our college, Reverend Father Dr. Bobby Pulolikil, Principal Dr. Benny Joseph, and Vice Principal Reverend Father Niju Talachira, and Head of the Department of Psychology, Dr. Emerson Sir, and our Program Coordinator, Sudha Ma'am, and all teachers and students coordinators who have played an important role in one way or another for this webinar. We all know that without the support of a technical team, this webinar would not have been this successful. So I would like to extend my thanks to technical team, especially Subin sir. Then again, no webinar or any academic event is complete without discussant and an active audience. So I extend my sincere thanks to each and every fellow students and everyone who participated in this webinar. Once again, thank you for all of you for making this webinar a memorable event. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupan. We are going to conclude now. Thank you all for your coordination and active participation. Please make sure to fill up the feedback form to receive the certificates. Thank you and have a nice day.
Okay, thank you all. Bye. My personal greetings to Josichan and to Father Bobby and the other administrative staff. Thank you, Emerson, for your invitation for the class. I also enjoyed it. Okay, bye. See you soon with another topic. Bye.
Thank you everybody for your active participation. We hope you enjoyed the session. Please do fill up the forms so that you can receive your certificates. The meeting is hereby ended. Yeah, madam. Yeah, please, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Right, bye. Kindly fill up the forms before you leave because that's what is going to earn you a certificate. I shall have put it again. The link has been again put in the chat box. The live stream for the session will be ending in another 3 seconds. And the meeting will come to end in another 5 seconds. Thank you, everybody.